Hello, good evening, friends, and my dear students. Today again we are live topic, and there will be further few more sessions on the topics regarding the paper BEGLA code number 135. So in the last month we had discussed about the important paper of BEGAE, that was of 182. Now there is one more important paper of BEGLA, code is 135, and the title of the paper is English in Daily Life. So in the IGNOU system we had some foundation courses and elective courses, and this paper BEGLA 135 code is of one of the optional papers regarding your language paper. It is very important and interesting paper. So those students who had studied earlier regarding the BEGA foundation courses regarding the listening skills, speaking skills, reading skills and writing skills and communication skills, so those students are going to be benefited from the discussion of this very important paper, that is English in Daily Life. Because the reason is this, that first of all we had understood the basic concepts of language, the communication, the process of communication, the steps regarding the process of communication, channels of communication, verbal communication, non-verbal communication, right? And those things were the theoretical concepts. Now we are going to discuss the important things of the practical aspects. Here the paper 135 code BEGLA is going to be very helpful, English in Daily Life. And like earlier papers, this paper is also divided into 4 blocks, and as per your credit score there are 6 credits for this paper. For the earlier paper BEGAE there were 4 credits, that's why we had held only 4 sessions. And for this paper there are 6 credits, and we are going to plan about 6 sessions for 6 credits. And for your study material, if you have received the study material, very good. If you have not received the study material still till date due to the lockdown restrictions, then you can download the study material from the website egyankosh.ac.in, and there from you can download the study material in the PDF format. You can print it out, or you can also study with the help of your tablets, iPads or the laptop. So BEGLA paper 135 is again further divided into 4 blocks. Your studies material is available, and there are 4 blocks, and each block is having again paper 1, 2, 3, 4 units. So starting with your BEGLA, important thing, the world around us. So today we are going to focus the world around us, and before going to the blocks, let me start with the block introduction and what is the importance of your study material and how it is going to be helpful. So BEGLA 135 English in Daily Life. So in the block introduction you can say that in our daily life we are having several needs and desires, as the title of the paper is, as the title of the your paper suggests, English in a daily life. So this paper is going to help us, this paper is going to teach us that how in our daily life we can take steps or to be good communicators in English language. Undoubtedly that English is not our first language in India, but even then, with the advancement of science and technology, with the advancement of your further communication channels, then English is needed at every level. Even these days you can see also that globally we are using the Facebook mediums or the Google Meets mediums, and people across the globe from the different sides of the world, they are coming together. So that's why at professional level, personal level, social gatherings, everywhere we are going to be in the need of this English process and English application tools. So he says that even in your block introduction it is mentioned that in our daily life we have several needs and desires, and we are confronting with major and minor problems. So in our life there are some problems are also there, and we have to face grief and happiness. So today we are not focusing only on the professional or on the academic aspects. Even in our daily life we have to face means we have to confront the grief and happiness, and in order to express the both, we often have to communicate in English. So necessarily in the 4 units of the block, we cannot cover all aspects of our daily lives, but even then we have chosen 4 areas. It means here in your study material there are 4 different areas where the vocabulary, grammar, speaking, listening, and reading and writing skills to engage with the issues of daily living. So if there are 4 blocks and then there are 4 units, so first of all, that how we are going to start, that family and friends. So my dear students, keep in mind that today we are focusing on the English in a daily life. So English in daily life, then first of all, that in daily life we are coming in the company of family and friends, then also describing the daily events, and money matters are also there, that we are discussing money matters, and also public services. So the teachers of IGNOU and the teachers who have prepared the study material, they say that we have arbitrarily chosen. It means randomly we have taken 4 aspects, and 4 aspects, those are more important and those are more prevalent, and in daily life we are coming across those aspects. So first, family and friends, and second, describing daily events, then of your money matters, and also of your public services. So these are very, very important things, and when we are going to understand these things, then the process of communication is effective, then our purpose of learning these papers is also fulfilled and final and good. And so this is the introduction to the block. So first is of unit of your family and friends. Family and friends, very important thing. The question is again coming to me from the students, that what is the need of this thing? So just simple answer, as I had earlier conveyed, that English in Indian aspect is somewhat different, because if when you are a student of English, then you are a student of English as a second language. Like in these days, the students who are going to foreign countries, who want to study abroad, they have to pass one test that is called IELTS. That is acronym of the 4 words: International English Language Testing Systems, right? So IELTS, generally you call in the simple way, or IELTS, or T is silent. So what is that? Or TESOL, teaching of English to the students of the other languages. So English is a global language. When we are in India and when we are studying this paper, when I am teaching, you are learning, this thing should be kept in mind, that English for us is a second language. Sometimes it may be for our third language, because there are some regional languages. First is our regional language, maybe Hindi, maybe Punjabi, maybe Bengali, maybe Gujarati, the language of our state, of our province in India. Then our second language, obviously national language Hindi, and third is of English. So that's why in our school days we are taught 3 languages. One is of our vernacular mother tongue, second national language Hindi, and third English language. So English is the official language for most of the Indians, because generally we prefer to watch Hindi serials, Hindi movies, or Bollywood movies, because Hindi is having like cultural and social dimensions. And people from the different states of India, they are also having this source of entertainment. And at the same time, simultaneously, we are not forgetting our own personal language. Maybe I'm having from Punjabi background, you are from the Bengali background, of the Gujarati background, right? All Indian languages are even acknowledged by the Constitution of India, and they are given the due respect. Fine, but the point is this: there is a limitation, that those languages are limited to the boundaries of their own state. So once you are out of your state and you have to travel in the different parts of India, then you should need one common medium. Either you are speaking in Hindi or you are speaking in English language. And one more important point, that even there are some states in the southern India where Hindi speaking people are in less number, and they are not very well versed in Hindi language. So that's why English is having important and prominent place. Fine. So, and here today we are going to start family and friends. because there is a paper that is of BEGAE 182 where we had about listening skills or the professional writing skills or of your business correspondence. But here, English in daily life, how you can improve, because generally students who in the colleges, for example, I am teaching in a college, and in my classes, students of the BA classes or the BCom classes, first of all, they are not concerned with the understanding of English language paper, of the, they are not taking it seriously. Once the classes are over or their BA class course is over, then they are going to the different coaching centers. Then they are learning English language. So that's why I wish that students of this university, Indira Gandhi National Open University, that now simultaneously in these even lockdown days, the university officials have taken this good step that through this online medium of learning and teaching, you are getting one more chance. So, and even with the help of technology, all these lectures are being recorded, and you can also later on refer to the lectures. So, you should take maximum benefit out of these facilities. So, I am going to start with the first unit. The unit is of family and friends. So, family and friends, again the structure is clear. What is the structure of the paper? The objectives, then reading comprehension, vocabulary, listening, speaking, grammar, and the writing, pronunciation, and again final he says answers. So my dear students, we should keep in mind that whether this paper is of BEGLA 135 or BEGAE 182 or any kind of language paper, then same things are coming again and again. That is repetition, but that's not a repetition. You would think that it's a repetition. That's why he's saying same listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills. That is not a repetition. That is again of your a kind of exercise, a kind of your making you more and more perfect in the communication skills. Because without your practice, you can't be a good speaker, you can't be a good writer, you can't be a good listener, you can't be a good reader. So in order to have all the skills fully developed in our mind, we have to be good reader. We have to engage ourselves in these activities, and the language is confined into 4 dimensions. Like everything has dimensions. Dimension means different sides. So language has 4 sides in case of verbal communication. So when you talk about listening skills, speaking skills, reading skills, and writing skills, it means you are talking about the verbal skills or verbal communication. So when there is a verbal communication, listening would be there, speaking would be there, reading would be there, and writing. So listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills are coming. So point is this, that you can't deviate from these things. You can't ignore these things. You have to rely upon these things, right? And again, if you want to be, and moreover, these things are interconnected. You can't say that I am a good reader, but I am simply a good writer, but I am not a good speaker. So the skills are interconnected, like the dimensions are connected. If you see that there are the 4 dimensions of one piece, then they are interconnected. Same thing applicable in case of language. Listening, speaking, reading, and writing, they are technically interconnected. So if you are doing well in reading, then obviously you are getting the ideas into your mind, and later on you are going to express in case of speaking and writing properly and prospectively. Fine. So that is the point. Family and friends, listening, speaking, grammar, and also very important point is of your grammar. Grammar is very important, because if you are not very concerned, if you are not very clear about the usage of grammar, sometimes you are having a kind of problematic situation. So in English language, vocabulary is very important and grammar is of utmost importance. Reason is this, because what is grammar? Grammar is nothing. Grammar is simply those rules and regulations where we have to apply, and those rules and regulations are applicable, and then the words are arranged in a proper sense, in a proper manner. So it's a game of only vocabulary and grammar. Simple question, what is the simple solution to learn English language? You can say that there are 2 points. First is of the learning of vocabulary, second is of learning of language rules or the set rules, and those rules are nothing, those rules are the rules of grammar. Okay, now we are coming to your unit 1, that is of your family and friends. So what are the objectives? Because simultaneously I am taking some notes from your study material and referring to your study material, because I know that students are having the study material with them. If you have, then for further future reference it is again beneficial. So the objectives are, first of all, read and comprehend a personal experience and making inferences from the text, evaluate a situation and provide a personal opinion, and listening to the children's experience in the family, and also use of one grammar. So my dear students, in these all 4 blocks you will find that the grammar is having different applications. So every unit is having 1 or 2 important or the personal and direct usage techniques of grammar. Like in this unit, he is telling us the use of apostrophe. What is apostrophe? A kind of like we're having one small symbol on the top of the word. So like a comma. So if you're putting the letter, then it is a comma, means pause, and if you're putting the comma on the top of the letter, then again using one more letter S, then it becomes, what is that? That is called apostrophe, like John apostrophe S, Johns, B-O-Y-Y apostrophe S, boys. Or if it is plural, like boys, then boys apostrophe, then there will be no one more S. So apostrophe is one technique of punctuation in English language where it is used to describe the sense of belongingness or sense of possession. Like we say, the book of boy or the boy's book. So of means belongingness, sense of belongingness, that is use of apostrophe. So using of apostrophe showing possession, it is mentioned here. Then use the 3 forms of adjectives: positive, comparative, superlative, and then writing a paragraph describing a person. Right? So generally we, all the students you have studied in your school days, yes, the teachers were telling you learn the degrees: good, better, best. Right? So degrees, what are the degrees or the verbs? So degrees of adjectives. So first degree, second degree, third degree. First means positive, simple, affirmative. Second, comparative, and third is of superlative. Right? So again, these things are mentioned here in your unit 1. And then reading comprehension, and our son, the between, and one more paragraph. Now we are coming to the vocabulary. Yes. Starting with the vocabulary, first of all, that is of point 1.2 and 1.1 warm up, that is called pre-reading activities or pre-reading skills. What is the generation gap? And list some issues over which do disagree with your parents. Yes, please. Now family and friends. So starting with the family. So what is the meaning of family? How many members are there in the family? Who are the family members? So family means that when the people are living together and they have a kind of relationship. The relationship is socially and legally established, and the relationship is of father, mother, son, daughter, brother, sisters, grandparents. So these are called the family members, and the family members are dependent on each other, and sometimes they are inherent to the property, and sometimes they are also legally liable. So family is the important thing, and the family has its own social, cultural, financial, legal implications, right? But here the topic is of English in daily life, use of language in daily life. So in daily life we are going to start right from the beginning, right from the family. Fine. So family and friends. First of all, what is generation gap? List some issues which you disagree with your parents. So generation gap. So generation gap generally. So here it is a kind of, this is called the orientation of your mind towards the topic. So orientation of your mind, orientation of your brain. So generation gap. Generation gap. What is the meaning of generation gap? Because generally in our family is very simple. Simply these listen to this combination of words. Generation gap. So generation gap means that there is a gap of time between two generations, like of 30 years, for 25 or 30 years. Because if I am today 30 40 years old and my father is 70 years old, then when he was 40 years old and I was 1 year old, then its time was 30 years ago. So that gap is not of the persons, the gap is of the total society, the gap is of the time, the gap is of the situations. Just imagine the situation 30 years ago. How was the life 30 years ago? The life was entirely different. The social structure was different. The financial sources were different. The necessities were different. The luxuries were different. The facilities were different. Right? So the way generally we see that nowadays we are teaching and we are learning through the online mode. Even the small kids, they are going to schools, and in the schools, like my son is going to school. In the school, he is having kind of PowerPoint presentations, projectors, smart classrooms, and like air conditioned rooms. But when we were students, of the schools 30 years ago, then there were different schools, traditional schools. And when our fathers, parents, were going to schools, again the situation was different 50 years ago. And of the grandparents, again of the many 80 70 80 years ago. So what is that generation gap? So we have to be clear about it. Generation gap is a social and cultural and financial dimensions. Generally, that's why we say reason is this, that what is a human being? Human being is made of. Human being is the produce of these things. Human being is simply like a social being, like a cultured animal. But your family background, your situations, your circumstances, your teaching and learning, your training, your financial status, your social status, your educational status, all these things are coming together, and then they are making you as a human being. So that's why every person today and the person 30 years ago, they had different situations, they had different financial situations, they had different educational situations. So that's why when the situations are different, then when the training is different, when the circumstances are different, then obviously the thought process or the thinking would be different. So that's the reason that as a human being today, what I'm thinking and what the other previous generation is thinking is not going to meet fully. So that is a kind of a generation gap, and you can also have more points. What is means I am just giving you the hints. What are the reasons of the generation gap? Moreover, this topic is very close to the topic of sociology. The professors of sociology, they can better explain what is family and why there are family disputes, what is generation gap. But here we are taking only one clue from that social aspect for communication in family and in the friends. Now here is we're having one more topic, that is of reading comprehension. Reading comprehension, that one passage is given to us, and our son, the between ager. So between ager, again of the topic of the between two ages. So he says that you may come across several events, words in the passage which are unfamiliar in your cultural context. So it is always interesting about how teenagers behave in different parts of the world. There is similarity as well as which you may notice, right? So here one passage is taken, and this passage is taken from Explorations. Explorations. And written by H.T. Baker. So, very good. And here he says that read the following passage and question given below it. So, first of all, we are having one extract piece of comprehension passage, and the passage is written by H.T. Baker, his name of the writer, and taken from Explorations 8, name of the book or the source. So read the following passage and answer the questions given below it. So when you are going to, my dear students, if you're having the study material ready with you, you can see that it's of the page number 6. You can see that there are some phrases and how the people are talking to each other in the family. So don't talk with your mouth full. I haven't got my mouth full. You're still talking with your mouth full. Stop it. I haven't got my mouth full, the boy said distinctly. He opened his mouth wide so that I could observe the pink interior of the empty cavity. So it is kind of, so I don't have more time that I'm going to study and read the whole passage. But the message is this, or the purpose of reading this comprehension is that how the people are communicating in different situations within a family. Because as today we are discussing that family and friends, English in daily life, family and friends. So starting with the family, because we are living in a family, and in our family we are having some problems or the discussions. So complete when you are going to read page number 5, 6 to 7. If you're having study material with you, my dear students, then family and friends, that is of starting from the page number 5 to 6 and 7. Wrong. So I'm just reading the last lines. Wrong. That is the funny part of it. I mean, if he were anybody else's son, else apostrophe s, I wouldn't want him around. But this one is welcome to stay. So he's all mixed up and full of conflicts he can't resolve because he doesn't really know what they are, and he's irritable and far too talkative, but most of all really rather lovable. So he's a between-ager, not a bad boy anymore, not yet a man, just a something in between. So here he is giving us example of a growing up boy, and he's calling him between-ager, neither man, neither a boy, a kind of the age of transition, teenage to becoming a mature person, right? So now what you have to do means how we can develop our communication, that you have to identify yourselves in that situation. Identify means just imaginary. You have to think that now the situation is this. If you are of the same age, the boy is mentioned in the passage, then you can understand well that this is the situation and how this situation is dealt with, and how I have to behave in that situation. So simply you have to answer the question. So when you are answering the question, you are simply getting that topics clear in your mind. For example, what are the questions mentioned? So the questions are that answer the following questions. In what two ways does the boy in the story break table manners? What happened when the son shaved for the first time? So why was the son not disturbed when his pocket money was stopped? And how did the boy irritate his mother? So these are the different situations, and in these different situations the matter is made clear. And one more, what kind of a father was the author? So the passage is written from the perspective and from the angle of the father. So now, yes, how can I increase my vocabulary? So one student is asking the question. Yes, we are coming to the same point, my dear student, just wait. I'm coming to the same point in 1 or 2 minutes. That is topic of vocabulary. how can I develop how can I improve my vocabulary? So before coming to the vocabulary, one point is left: drawing inferences. So drawing in inferences means that you are going to draw the meaning, or draw means extract the meaning, extract the idea out of that inference, right? And what are the young and the old bull and laughing at me secretly? So these are some, again, the important points of reading comprehension. Second, now next point is coming of 1.3, vocabulary. Vocabulary is very important thing, because if you are a good reader, if you're a good writer, if you want to be a good speaker or listener, every time you need vocabulary. So what is vocabulary? So in order to understand the importance of vocabulary, we have to understand first of all the background of vocabulary. Vocabulary is simply, you can say, the list of words. In the simple words, you can say, what is vocabulary? List of words. And what are words? Or what is a word? So each and every word is having distinct meaning. So you can go back in the history of language, and when you are going back into the history of any language, here specifically of English language, then you can see how the words are formed, because there is complete system of the word formation, because sometimes you're referring to the different dictionaries, and there it is also mentioned that this word is coming from that very specific language, maybe of Latin language or maybe of the Roman language, because this kind of process of language, process of communication is ever evolving for last 5,000 years. When the human civilization records, you can see that whether it was Greek civilization or the Roman civilization in those parts of the world, or in the Indian system of our Sanskrit, or the golden age of India, every civilization had done a lot of hard work for the development of knowledge corpus. And in the knowledge corpus there is a language, and in the language there are words. So here today we are concerned with so in the English language system, how we can develop our vocabulary. So my dear students, the simple answer is this, that it is not about the cramming. It's not about that you are going to cram you are simply like you are cramming the sentences or the answers. Vocabulary is improved by using it, in your life. First of all, you have to acquire it. Second, you have to use it. First of all is of acquiring. Second is of then again of using. How you can going to acquire it? Acquiring, and then it is application. So in our daily life, simply to start with is you have, because now again you have to take the help of dictionaries, and in India we are using bilingual dictionaries, English to Hindi or English to Punjabi, English to any other language. So, but I prefer personally, or I suggest personally, to go with the English to English dictionary. Actual dictionary is English to English dictionary, and the good dictionary that I personally use is Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary, and these days I think there is 9th edition, hardly of 600 or 700 rupees cost is this of this dictionary. And if you have time, you can also watch online videos if it is available about phonetics. And because when I'm taking the classes in my generally simple counseling sessions, there I teach something about phonetics. What is phonetics? Those are called phonetic symbols, because when you open a dictionary you see there are some symbols are given. So those symbols are going to be helpful in the learning of good and real pronunciation, because in English language there are different problems regarding the learning of vocabulary, because when you come across a new word you don't know how to speak or how to pronounce. Speak means how to pronounce the word. Then first of all you have to learn the pronunciation of the word, means when you are speaking it, how you have to speak it. Second, its spellings means then how you have to write it. Third is of its meaning, and fourth is of again usage in the sentences, because sometimes one word is at the same time a verb, sometimes it is also a kind of adjective. Like for example, fast is also noun, vrat. First is also adjective. So each word is falling under different categories of the that is called the speech, the different categories of like noun, pronoun, verb, adverb, adjective, parts of speech, right? So one word is coming under vocabulary of the verb as well as at the same time of the other parts of speech. So this is very important. So there are 4 points. First is of the pronunciation, second spellings, third meaning, fourth it's coming the which head of the parts of it's a noun or a pronoun, it's a which kind of it's a parts of speech. Fine. Okay, so vocabulary. And what are the sources of learning vocabulary? Again the question, what are the sources of learning vocabulary? So simple source and the simple and easiest ways of your newspaper, daily newspaper, and make it a habit that you are going to read the English newspaper. And English newspaper, some newspapers are meant for the professionals and some papers are meant for the generally simple students, and in each newspaper you're having the words from the different backgrounds. Reason is this, that if you want to improve your vocabulary, there is a difference, my dear students, keep in mind there is a difference. There is a difference that jargon and vocabulary. So what is jargon? Jargon is called the technical language. For example, if you are a lawyer, if you have seen that there are some advocates or there are the lawyers, you call them lawyers, and they're advocates in the courts, and they're using a different set of words. Or if there are the scientists, they're using different set of words. That is called the technical language, the jargon, that the language set of words particular and applicable to a confined group of knowledge. But in case of learning of vocabulary, we have to learn the vocabulary from the different backgrounds, from the different resources. Reason is that when we are going to apply the words, we are going to apply in the different modes, in the different for the different purposes. So that's why the general or the first hand knowledge of the words from the different sources of important. For example, there are the resources from sports or media and business and politics, economy. So these are different fields, and from the different fields you can gain the different words, and then you can use in when you are going to speak or when you are going to write. And yes, pronunciation is very important. And the students again asking the question that I don't understand the phonetic symbols. Yes, you can't understand simply the phonetic symbols. Either you have to attend the class for it, because there are 44 symbols, and in some universities this paper is taught at MA level, because when we were students in MA English, then there was one paper, Phonetics and Grammar of English, in MA English first year. So there we also learnt, and in the symbols and the professors of the language and linguistics, they had taught us. So for this you need help of teacher, and on, because this demands practice. And like there are till date, I think many of the students feel that there are only 5 vowels, A, E, I, U, U. You are taught till date only this point, that there are only 5 vowels. But when you go for the understanding of the phonetics, then you will see that actually there are 20 vowels and 24 consonants, and total 44 speech sounds are there in English language. Actually we are having only 26 alphabets, A to Z. There are 26 alphabets, but actually there are 44 speech sounds. Like th, for th, in English there is no specific letter. Sometimes we're using th or the other, so, and also using th for the. So the, th, many sounds are there. And for f, sometimes phone we're using ph, and for fan we're using f. So many variations and many things are prevalent there. So this was again a small introduction to the vocabulary. And one thing is possible these days with the help of technology. If you are having smartphones with you, then in the smartphones you can also download the dictionaries. That is called a good dictionary, like Oxford Dictionary is available, I think, and I have also downloaded in my smartphone, and there you can also, when you are going to click the symbol of the sound, you can listen to it. That is recorded sound. So that is help of technology. If you want to take that, when you're going to touch the sound, that symbol of the sound, you can listen. The sound is recorded. There is no need of any phonetics symbols, just simply by the listening to the sound. I think, but those dictionaries are somewhat costly, near about I think 2,000 rupees you have to pay at the Google Pay, and you can download the Oxford Dictionary's original version. Then you can also learn the pronunciation. So this is one other way out if you can afford it. Now next is of your listening. Again, listening. So it says, before you listen to the audio, and you need to read all the questions given below. So these questions will give you an idea about what you need to focus on. Listen to the audio once through, and then listen again. So again, here is talking about the listening and speaking skills. And the listening and speaking skills, if you are given one kind of audio, or if and kind of cassette is provided, but here we don't have any kind of that audio material readily available. So just we can say that listening and speaking, again I'm just giving a gist of the idea. The topic is that listening and speaking, we can speak well when we are listening to it effectively. How? So it is very good thing, but that's not possible for you students, those who are doing the IGNOU system, through the IGNOU system, because it is possible for the traditional classes. For example, if I'm teaching in the classroom and I'm speaking for 1 hour in my lecture, and the student is listening for 1 hour. So if he or she is listening for 1 hour continuously daily, then you start speaking it gradually, again and again, listening again and again, then you start speaking it gradually. But for that you need more time. But here, in case of distance education mode system, that thing is not possible, right? So now then is of speaking, listening and speaking important aspects. Obviously we are going to discuss again and again in the coming sessions also. So headed today, it is only of the introductory lecture where we are discussing about family and friends and the other topics. Then he says grammar. Grammar is apostrophe. Today one topic, apostrophe, 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 the symbol of punctuation. So what is apostrophe? So he has given us 4 sentences. The razor belongs to the father. So the shawl belongs to the mother. The toys belong to the babies. The books belong to the children. So he says in the 4 sentences, something is shown as belonging to the person. So sense of belongingness. You understand what is the meaning of belong? Belong means in the connection, of the possession. So he says the apostrophe is used to show the ownership of something, shows possession. So sense of belongingness, sense of connection, sense of possession, right? So he says, what is this? Now let us understand the rules of the possessives. Read the singulars, noun and the possessive. Father. So he says the razor belongs to the father. One sentence. And here in the sentence you can say, it is, the razor belongs to the father. He says it is father's razor. Father, apostrophe is a kind of simple comma on the top of the letter R, then S. So for apostrophe, what are the rules? And for apostrophe, then and using S. So the S and apostrophe, these things show the sense of belongingness. So it is father's razor, it is mother, apostrophe S, mother's shawl. And now he says, of these were of the singular words like father, fathers, mother, mothers. Now there are babies. So if it's about the plural form, it's the babies. These are the babies twice. So because in case of plural, you're having already s letter at the end of the word, like babies. So if it is of the baby, baby, then it is singular, but it is of babies, babies. Then you can see that these are the babies. So simply what you have to do, you simply put the letter simply put the comma apostrophe on the top of the letter and discard s, because there will be no two s, there will be only one s. The s is at the end of the word, and just one more letter is not required, only one simple apostrophe, that simple mark on the top of the letter is required. Like the books belong to the children. Now again one more thing, these are the children's books. Now here there is a difference, though there the baby is plural, but the word was ending with s. Here children plural, but the word is ending with n. So this is the difference, be careful. I don't say that all the plural words should be used only the mark of apostrophe and no s. I was saying and I am saying that there should be no use of two s. If the plural form of the word is ending with the letter s, then there is no need of one more s. If it is ending with another, because there are many, like child is singular, but children plural, so then there will be, these are the children's books. So he says, let us understand the rules. So my dear students, so just in short, in brief, so what are the rules of apostrophe? So rules are, first, read the singular nouns and their possessives. Father, father's razor. Mother, mother's shawl. Bank, bank's address. Now boss, again, so boss, 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 although the word is ending with s, but it is singular, again you have to use. So the singular word ending with s will have apostrophe and s, but the plural words ending with s will have only apostrophe. So this is a difference. Like boss, boss, or double s, boss, bosses, boss apostrophe s. Right? So it is only the understanding of the singular and plural. So if the singular ending with s, obviously there would be the use of apostrophe and s. If it is plural ending with s, then like babies, then there will be the use of only apostrophe, and no more s. Right? Like princess. So princess, prince, the feminine form of prince, princess, the female. Princess, again, that is of princesses, that is princess apostrophe s. Now read the plural nouns and their possessives. Yes, this is important for you, and I think you should keep in mind. Boys, boys, boys. So boys, plural form, only apostrophe. Ladies, again ending with s. Ladies, only ladies, apostrophe. Dresses, again dresses, only apostrophe. Now men. You see, man is singular, but men is plural. So if you want to have the one more apostrophe possession, how would you use? Men's, men apostrophe s. And children, again children apostrophe s. Right? So he says a possessive is formed by adding. So in the end we can say that a possessive is formed by adding apostrophe plus s to any singular noun like mothers. So first there are three rules. Keep in mind. First, apostrophe plus s to any singular noun like mother, mothers. Apostrophe plus s to a plural noun not ending in s. I repeat, apostrophe plus s to plural noun not ending with s like children. So it will become children's. Then third, only apostrophe. Only apostrophe to a plural nouns ending in s like boys. So if you say boys hostel, if you have to write boys hostel, how would you write? BOYS apostrophe only and hostel. Boys classroom, right? BOYS apostrophe classroom, right? So today in this topic, because otherwise these things appear to be very simple, you would see that these things are very simple and we have learned in our school days. Fine, obviously you must have learned, but these things are so important, and although these things look very minute or small things, but when you are using in your language skills, when you are using in your written material, when you are using in the spoken form, then these small things or minute things show that whether you are having knowledge of it or not. Otherwise, it shows our sense of expertise or our sense of ignorance of the topic. Then there are some, my dear students, check your progress of 5. He says rewrite the following sentences using an apostrophe. The dance of the gypsies was delightful. So you can say the gypsies apostrophe only because plural dance was delightful. The tail of the donkey went up in the air. This box belongs to Ravi's. This is Ravi's box, so on and so forth. This is about check your progress 5, and complete the following sentences and complete the new story. Use the apostrophe appropriately. Okay, comparison of adjective. Yes, comparison of adjective. Last point of today's lecture of comparison of adjectives. So comparison forms of adjective. So forms of adjective, that positive, comparative and superlative. So positive, comparative and superlative. So first of all, like he's saying that sweet, sweeter and sweetest. So these are the 3 degrees, because in the schools we are taught learn degrees, learn verbs, learn nouns, learn masculine and feminine, change gender, nouns, verbs. Yes, we have done all these things in our school days, and also degrees, and like the verbs go, went, gone, right? Tall, taller, tallest. So there were lists, and just we have been cramming and we have been memorizing. So again today same, these are the basic concepts. Yes, for the good and effective use of all these things, the basic concept should be very much clear. So again it is you can say reiteration or again recalling of those basic concepts, and positive, comparative and superlative. So there are 3 degrees. Positive, he says sweet, 1, there is no comparison. Sweeter, it means sweeter. Comparison, so for comparison you need more than 1. So for comparison you need more than 1, at least there should be 2, because more than 1 means minimum 2. And third is superlative. Superlative, so there could be more than 2. So if there are more than 2 means 3, 4, 500,000. It's superlative. So in for comparison you need more than 1, means minimum 2, and for superlative you need more than 2. So more than 2 means it may be 3 or 300 or 5,000. So positive degree of the adjective denotes some quality. So it is of quality, some qualities denoted, and comparative degree of the adjective denotes a higher degree of the quality. So that was some quality, and it's about higher quality. And when 2 things or the 2 sets of things are compared, higher quality, and the superlative degree denotes the highest degree of the quality and is used when more than 2 things or 2 sets of things are compared. So although it seems to be very simple, but I again repeat or for your understanding that positive, comparative, superlative, positive some quality. Second, comparative higher degree of quality, two things or two sets of things are compared. Then superlative, highest degree of the quality and used when more than two things or two sets of things are compared, right? So this is about your degrees. And next point is of writing, describing people. And describing people, starting with the progress and again pronunciation, silent letters. So yes, all are important. So I can take I think we have more 2 to 5 minutes. Yes, we can see that one more important point of pronunciation. Yes, students are asking again this question. Yes, with this topic we are going to finish one unit. Okay, then you can go with your personal check your progress activities. Fine. So pronunciation, silent letters. So in English, you generally do not pronounce all the letters in a word. I mean, there are some words which are pronounced and some letters are not pronounced. So some letters are in words are silent. They are called silent letters. So in other words, they are not pronounced. Listen to them carefully and repeat each word. Like B is silent in the spelling and final position MB and BT, like debt. So DEBT, debt. B is silent. Doubt, DOUBT. We don't say doubt, but doubt, right? Bomb, BOM, bomb. Climb and tomb, comb and thumb, right? So again, there are some D's silent, like adjoin, adjust, and adjacent, and G's silent in spelling some sequences like sign, resign, assign, and nat, paradigm, right? H is silent in spellings like ghetto, ghost. K is silent, yes, like we say K is silent, knee. So knee, body part. So KNEE, we say knee. And no, KNW, we say no, don't say no. Knife, KNIFE, knife. Knock, knock at the door, KNOCK, knock. And L is silent before key in the word, like walk, WALK, we don't say walk, we say walk. Talk, calm, palm, balm, and fork, right? Then N is silent in the word. For example, with MN, column, and solemn, condemn. P is silent in the word, initial spelling like pneumonia, psychology, pseudonym. T is silent in the words like castle, listen, fasten, bustle, and W is silent in the final position like saw, write, rest, wrist, show, snow, whom, whole, whose, right? So these are some silent words because I was thinking that the ending we can also use these words. Pronunciation, because this is also the topic of vocabulary. That's why I have taken 2 minutes for silent letters. And although this is not final, this is only a beginning. You can't say the words I have pronounced, this is the final list. This is only a reference. My dear students, keep in mind, this is for your reference. And you have to understand that there are many words in the English language which are silent. And for understanding, for proper use of the vocabulary, for the proper use of the language, English language, we have to learn. So that's why I again say, and I say for many times, that you have to learn the pronunciation, because for example otherwise it is written pneumonia or psychology. The psychology word is starting with P, PSY, P is silent. If you don't learn, or if you haven't understood, now you would say P psychology, psychology. That is wrong pronunciation, right? So that is, just understand the importance of the pronunciation. Understand, and otherwise you would speak it psychology. Wrong. It is psychology. It means P is silent. You would say P pneumonia. The P is silent. It is pneumonia. So this is so important thing, and I wish that you try to apply these things in your learning process. And this is going to be the ending of the today's session. I think this is all for today, session. And tomorrow again we will meet with at same time, 5 p.m. with more discussions. I think that there are 5 more sessions, if it is possible. There are 6 credits and 6 sessions for this BEGLA. So today we have started the basic things and basic concepts of the grammar, apostrophe, silent letters, and the topics in the family. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for listening to me and watching online. And tomorrow we meet again. And until then, goodbye. Best of luck.